up, everyone? Are you tired of when you're trying to work on something and you just can't figure it out? You go on YouTube and can't find the video of what you're actually working on? But here's my solution to that. I'm going to show you how to take this rear axle out of this 84-110. Now this removal works the same as a lot of different three-wheelers in this generation of a hardtail. What do I mean by hardtail? Hardtail is a nickname for a rear axle that's completely bolted to the frame of the three-wheeler frame. No rear suspension. Now a lot of different machines that have this style is, well, an ATC 110, an ATC 125M, ATC 200, ATC 200E, ATC 200S, ATC 200M. All those models works the same exact thing. Maybe even the ATC 70. I've never worked on one. Maybe it'll work. Now this rear axle's already been taken out. Already torn apart to see where I'm getting into. Pretty much this is a nice clean axle to work on. So it'd be a good video to show you guys what to do. Alright, so we're going to start with the basics. What you first want to do is get the machine up on a table, up on a stand or something, remove the rear tires. Now on this 84-110, it has a split rim design on it, and I'll show you how that works. So once you look at the wheel, you're going to see there's 4 lug nuts and 4 studs. 4 of them are going to be for what gets mounted to the hub. 4 of them are going to be what mounts the 2 rims together. So you'll have a cotter pin going through, hopefully you'll have a cotter pin going through the axle right here to hold this castle nut on. Once you remove that cotter pin, the axle nut will come off. My suggestion is these things do seize up a lot. Make sure when you reinstall, put a lot of grease on there so it doesn't seize up. If you need to try to get it off, just be very careful because these castle nuts are very fragile. The teeth will break over time if you try to reef on it. You use a lot of heat. Once you get those off, pop the hub off. Same thing with the hub. Now what happens with a lot of these style axles, and mainly any kind of ATV axle, is over time the threads start to get a little worn out. You see this one rocks just a little bit. Now what the farmer's trick is, either they'll JB weld the threads on there, or they'll just tack weld it right there so it can stay and never come off. Please, if you ever have to do that and the threads start to get worn out, just replace the axle and replace the hubs. There's a lot of people out there that have replacements out there to do that. Alright, so once you remove the hub, now I don't want to come off. Alright, so once you get to that part, take the axle nuts off. Now, like I talked about everything seizing up, these like to seize up too. So when you reinstall, please add grease right there. What works a lot to get them off if they are seized up, heat them up, spray some WD-40, get some channel locks. Now they do make different size wrenches for this. I will show you that. Now I'm not sure if they make wrenches for this size of an axle nut, but I'll show you. These are what the wrenches will look like. These are just Motion Pro axle wrenches. I believe this fits for a 400EX 450R. Pretty sure they work on different models as well. So once you get the axle nuts off, they should be able to just come off like that. You have your lock nut right there, and the one, very fine threads. Takes a long time. When you pop those off, you have this little washer as well. Make sure you take that washer out. Now it's time to take the brake cover off. The brake cover's gonna have a bunch of these little screws right here. I believe they're just in 10mm size socket. Pop them all off from there. I just got this one holding on for now. And the brake drum should come off. Sorry, not brake drum, the brake cover. The brake drum will have a dust seal around here as well. This one might come out. Yep. So there's the brake cover right there. You'll see I'll have a little rubber gasket going around there. And I'll have the dust seal inside is there as well. So once you get the brake drum cover off, the next thing is to take the brake drum off. You'll notice that it's going to be a little hard to get off. That's why, because you have to take this rubber O-ring out. The easiest way is to take a little pick inside there to pull it out. This one kind of slid in there a little bit. Alright, so once you get that little O-ring off, the brake drum should pop off just like that. It reveals all the brake mechanisms. So what you'll see is the brake shoes. Easiest way, just take them off, split them like this. They pop right off like that. Make sure not to lose any of the springs or anything. So that's it for this side, to take the rear axle out. Make sure you clean everything out, all the brake dust. Make sure you grease everything up. Plus the brake arm right here. Make sure the spring is still good. Make sure the arm is still good intact. So once you remove everything on the right side, the left side is pretty much the same way as taking the hub off. Once you get to this side, you'll see this little cover right here. Just another cover for the guard right here for the chain. Remove those and this cover comes right off like that. Next, you want to take this big guard off. To remove the chain guard, there's going to be a bolt right down here, one on top here, one right there, and one right here. Chain guard should pop right off. Well, it should. There we go. Alright, the next thing to do is to get the rear carrier loose so you can get the chain loose. You're going to have 4 bolts holding the carrier on. One down here, one right there, and there. Get all those 4 cracked loose. It's going to require a 17mm wrench. And then next you'll take a 12mm wrench, take this nut off. This is the tensioning rod right here, or the tensioning stud that adjusts the rear carrier to tighten the chain. Now I've already got everything loose. I'll show you what happens once you loosen all of them up. Rear carrier pivots on these 2, which adjust the chain right there, like that. And what you want to do is adjust it all the way forward to get the chain loose. Now I'm going to take the shortcut trying to take this chain off. What the best thing to do is to find the master link in the chain, pop the master link off and roll the chain off. I'm just going to do this way, kind of roll it off the sprocket. This is kind of a more dangerous way to do it. You can wreck your chain and sprocket doing it. Also pinch your fingers too, so be very careful. I wouldn't suggest trying that. Next we got to remove the rear sprocket. You're going to have these 4 bolts right there. That's holding this little guy here that has the cover mounting right there. It also holds the sprocket on. Takes a 12mm socket. It comes right off like that. Now, you're going to notice that the rear sprocket's not going to be able to come off. Well, we're missing something. Slides on right here, goes past this little collar right there, and it holds the sprocket on. Kind of a little safety thing so the sprocket doesn't come sliding off. So just take a little pick set to pop this little guy off right here, and your sprocket's ready to come out. We are now in the final step of removing the axle. Now, like I said, a lot of things seize up over time, especially these old machines like this. So my suggestion is use a little bit of heat around the bearings. The bearings will eventually get worn out, seize around the axle, and it's going to be a pain in the butt to try to pop out. There we go. The axle's loose, ready to come out. My suggestion is, if you have to try to pound them out, and you want to save the axle and not wreck the threads, put your castle nut on and take a piece of wood and pound her out. Some guys make their own jigs how to remove the axle, but luckily we didn't have to do that on this one. Alrighty then, so that's how you remove a rear axle of a hardtail 3-wheeler. Hope you guys join me for some more videos like this. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram, ATC Boys. Go and subscribe to our channel, please, too, as well. We hope to make more videos like this, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.